Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. We're hoping to give you a quick guide of things that you should consider when choosing your cloud communications platform. From our perspective, this includes video, instant messaging, voice and collaboration. My name is Joel and I'm an account executive at Audeo, and this is Ian, our technical director.
Hello.
Now I should say we want this to be a more informal chat. There's no slide deck to work through, so I'm hoping you find this informative and hope to not take up too much of your time.
Definitely, we don't want to bore anyone, and anyway we're not professional enough to do slide decks.
Now I'm not sure what your feeling is, but my customers seem to be reporting that they are over the initial shock of working from home and are now looking into more strategic processes so that they can better prepare for a return to the workplace or the office. Are you seeing a similar kind of thing across the rest of our customer base?
Yeah, largely I agree. Everyone seems to be coping okay, but in the change in working practices has highlighted a few inadequacies for some customers, as well as areas that they were unknowingly and surprisingly prepared for.
Yeah.
For instance, our customers using cloud video had a perfect tool in place for a dispersed workforce. It really stood out. It required no reconfiguration, VPNs, etc. Just go home and work. So for the reason for today's webinar is not about that. It's a lot of customers have come to us and said that their phone system just wasn't ready for this, which isn't surprising. Who could have forecast a sudden shift in working habits and locations, etc.,
Yeah.
and the infrastructure requirements changes required to go with it?
Indeed, recent events seem to have expedited cloud-first strategies. For a lot of people, their phone system was good enough before, and whilst the migration to a cloud PBX was something to do, it was not important enough to do right away. Until now.
Yeah, so a lot of people have got by with what they've had because they've had to, diverting lines to mobiles, rapidly adopting cloud platforms for instant messaging, video, etc., but found that adding voice to these isn't always as simple or as cost effective as it really should be.
Teams.
Yeah, well, not just Teams, there are others, and they do raise the question of how one plans a communication strategy. Do you just lump everything into Microsoft or the equivalents? It's certainly the easy way forwards, especially when you're under pressure. It's let's just put everything into the same platform. That's going to be good, isn't it? So it's an easy thing to see people do, but you really should consider this as a 5 to 10 year investment, much more like a traditional PBX.
Yeah, I guess that's right. Just because the costs are distributed across monthly subscriptions, there's a lot of expenditure for physical phones. User training and any consultancy works to integrate this into your business processes. It's not something you just want to change in a year because you don't like the way it's working or where the costs are going. But yes, that brings us nicely back on topic. We're here to discuss why you should consider a proper cloud telephony solution.
Yeah, so the way I see it, there are some key areas one needs to consider when making these decisions. The first is flexibility. Are employees able to work from home and access all of the same phone and video functionality as if they were in the office? This wasn't a requirement really before 2020.
Yeah, it is now.
Absolutely, yeah. Integrations. This isn't always something considered in the past, but you've got the opportunity now to tie your communications platform with other business processes.
What do you mean by this then?
I thought you might ask that. So a simplest example I can think of is, let's say that you're working in a support environment. I can make a change as a salesman, but in doing so, you're sat there at the desk waiting for the phone to ring, bring, and it comes. And attached to that call is the identifying number of the person making the call. And this can be really useful because in the background, the telephony platform is talking to your CRM platform in this case and pulling up records of cases you might have been working on or that are currently in process or even the closed cases and so on. But at very least it brings up information about who is calling and therefore their account, which gives you the steps to the next things as well. So that's an example of what the integrations can bring. So the next thing to go on to would be contact centre. That'd be number 3, I guess. If you have any kind of contact centre, and we've just described an example of a contact centre, calling into a support desk, then in terms of telephony solutions, they're not necessarily the traditional call centres that we're all experienced with, our banks and insurance companies, etc., utilities providers, which can be handled far away, etc. And it's really, it's not giving us a good feeling about what contact centres should be about. No, contact centres are all about all communications into and out of a business, including, and this is very important, social media.
Yeah.
So finally, support. Consider how you support your end users and how you engage support from your supplier or vendor. Traditional on-premise platforms had ongoing support models. We pay it like an insurance policy. You pay every year whether you use them or not. And they just go away with the cloud. But it doesn't mean that support issues go away with the cloud. It doesn't mean to say it's diminished even. It just is an awful lot easier to provide good support with a cloud solution.
Yeah, and another one from me that I think we've missed is total cost of ownership.
Good point. Good point. And this can be really difficult to calculate, but you need to try and calculate this because consider all of your consultancy, support, integration, deployment costs up front so you can make an informed decision. Every provider will say, oh, well, don't worry about that with us. It's simple. You just pay X pounds per month. And sometimes it's even free. But check. Look into the small print. Check your for your 5-year. Plan for your 5-year investment. Yeah. Consider your growth and coming business needs, and really make sure that you're providing the right decision for your business, not the easy decision.
Yeah, definitely a difficult one. I'm not sure what I'd do if a customer asked me for a total cost of ownership calculation. I guess I'd ask you.
And I'd go and ask somebody else. It's a difficult thing. So it's not just about being cheap or expensive. It needs to be right for your business. There's no point in a local village bakery having a phone system that provides call auditing, IVR menus and slick business integrations. They just need the basic tools appropriate to their need.
Yeah.
So to recap, and this time without interruption from Joel, I hope, flexibility, integrations, call centres, support, and total cost of ownership.
And what about security?
I've only got the 5 fingers, Joel. So just stop adding things to my list, please, really. I'm trying to keep this simple. But to be honest, I try and consider this a necessity of any platform, particularly for a business. It should just go without saying, and that's why I didn't say it. But this is definitely one of the scary things when putting infrastructure out of your control and into the cloud, as you're handing over control of your security, your data, your very conversations. So you need to trust who you're doing this with. You need to ensure that the provider you're working with has certificates of some kind to show that they are a secure platform and they have proper business practices for maintaining the security and integrity of your data, etc. And really, they should have a proven track record of reliability. So look for ISO certification or equivalent, and some example or proof of reliability. Anyone can make a claim about SLAs and promises the world, and if they do not offer you service at any one time, they promise you their firstborn and ability to sleep with their wife, etc. But broken promises is no good to you.
Who has ever managed to successfully claim service credits? It's a bit like getting a free flight after your plane crashes.
Definitely.
You're not going to want to fly that airline again. So
definitely.
So in summary, we've proven that over the last few months we need to be able to use any mode of communication on any device, any channel, anywhere.
So we need a system that we can integrate with other areas of our business, potentially provide a contact centre, good support, and all at a reasonable cost of ownership.
And for business communications, we also need security, reliability, and scalability too.
Yeah, telephony systems are no longer just a PBX for calls into and out of a business, but should be considered as an integral part of collaboration solutions for all communications in and out of the business, wherever you happen to be working from. Cloud solutions can enable all employees to communicate with each other, customers and suppliers from any device. So wherever you are,
Yes.
That's what cloud brings us.
If any of the things we've briefly mentioned here are of interest to you, please do get in touch with us. I should probably mention that we have two main partners we work closely with to provide a full range of cloud telephony solutions designed to work the way you do. But we're also more than happy to provide meeting room systems for whatever platform you ultimately choose.
Absolutely, we're not dictatorial about this, and whilst we can make recommendations and offer suggestions, it's really not all or nothing with us. It's we'll just help you wherever we can.
Yeah, whatever your future looks like, please do get in touch with us. We're here to help. It's bye from me,
and it's goodbye from him. Bye.